remember, I'm the dietitian with Hype Vegan. I come once a month, although I missed January for you all, the new class. I apologize. I made the joke that a dietitian in January is like an accountant in April. Which is very busy. Everyone's New Year's resolution. But I always come and talk about fruits and vegetables of the month. And before I really get into the fruit and vegetable of the month, I want to kind of reiterate what a serving size is. And it is kind of confusing because the new guidelines really is to fill half of our plate at breakfast, lunch, and dinner with either fruit or vegetable. And I would say if your goal is weight loss, at lunch and dinner, I would make that non-starchy vegetables for half your plate, and if your goal is weight maintenance, it really, any fruit or vegetable is fine. But lunch and dinner, really focusing on filling up on non-starchy vegetables. Jicama is a great non-starchy vegetable choice, and I'm going to talk about in a second. But when someone asks the question, and I know that we're going to start really closely evaluating the intake of fruits and vegetables for the participants, so when they say a serving size, it's really half a cup serving. So if you eat like a fruit, you're really having 2 servings. If you eat just a piece, like if you ate a mango, you'd be eating 2 servings of fruit. If you ate an apple, you'd be eating 2 servings. A banana, 2 servings. If you ate a cup of vegetables, that would be 2 servings because it's half a cup cooked. So a lot of times people are underestimating or not giving themselves enough credit, but ideally, half of your plate should be the fruits and vegetables. So, one vegetable that I would recommend including more, and it's kind of gaining in popularity. It doesn't look very pretty when you get it at the grocery store. It's called jicama. There is a silent J, and so it makes the H sound. It looks like jicama, which some people say, but it's jicama. It is often referred to as a Mexican potato, but you can actually eat it raw. It has the texture, I would say, somewhat between a water chestnut and an apple. I mean, it's kind of crunchy, mildly sweet, and actually as it sits, once you cut it, as it sits, the sugar content increases a little bit. Doesn't make it, it's still very low calorie, but it sweetens it. It's one that once you cut, you can keep in the refrigerator for up to 6 days. Uncut, it'll store for close to a month at room temperature, much like a potato. It has a very long shelf life. The only thing that's kind of annoying about a jicama is cutting them. I use a big sharp knife and cut it to 4 pieces, and then use a paring knife to kind of carve the skin off. You can try to use a vegetable peeler, just depending on what quality of a vegetable peeler you have. It may work, it may not work. And then you can chop it up. We're going to actually have it chopped up in this Thai chicken wrap, which is one of my favorite all-time recipes. And then I wanted you just to sample it plain, so you can really just decide if you like it or not. But I also use it in dips. A lot of times if I'm serving dips, and if I'm going to go, like when we went to the Super Bowl party, I knew there'd be chips galore. I brought jicama as a dipper instead of the chips. So lots of options for the jicama. And then and why it's good for you. Of course, I want to talk about that. High in fiber and low in calories. In just one cup, I don't want to say wrong here. In just 1 cup, there's only 45 calories and 6 grams of fiber. So it's extremely filling. Wonderful snack choice is in the jicama. And then our mango is actually the #1 most consumed fruit in the world, but not in the U.S. In the U.S., I think it's between 5 and 10, so it's definitely not that popular here. But we have a great price on these right now. It's tropical days at Hy-Vee, so stop in and get your mango. But when you're selecting a mango, it doesn't really matter what color it is. A lot of people will look for like the golden red and yellows. Really, the varieties, some varieties stay green all the time, and some of them, they grow in clusters on the trees, and so where the sun hits, where they're at in the cluster, will affect the color on the outside. But really what you want to look for is one that just gives slightly, almost like how you would select a peach to know if a peach was ready. That's how you know a mango's ready. Then the key for cutting these is you want to remove their cheeks. So you just take your knife, and there's a big, long, thin seed that goes all the way through the mango. So you just cut off both cheeks, and then if you take your knife, and I should have brought my knife to show you this, but if you Google it, lots of cool pictures if you've never done this before. But basically, you'll have your cheek, and you'll take your knife, and you'll slice through the flesh, but not get through the skin, and then go the other way, and then you porcupine it. You kind of invert it, and just slide those pieces right off. I also brought just the mango for you to try, and I had someone once tell me it tastes like a cross between an orange and a banana, and that's spot on. It really does kind of taste like a cross between an orange and a banana. I feel like it's just one of those fruits that For whatever reason, I don't know if it's because people don't know how to cut it, but we don't eat very much of it. It's really great for it's high in vitamin C, over 100% daily value vitamin C in just one serving, high in vitamin A, which is one that Americans don't get enough of. So a wonderful fruit choice, plus it too has the fiber and relatively low in calories for fruit. So great, excellent choice. And today I'm serving these little tartlets, which I love these guys, these little mini phyllo shells. They're excellent dessert ideas. And if you wanted to do this recipe, you could easily just take out 2 shells, fill it with your Greek yogurt mixture, put your mangoes on top, and you have dessert. And then you keep the rest in the freezer. Because, you know, if you make the whole batch and it's just you might eat more than you bargained for. But I love that these are portion controlled, pretty low calorie. And then I just use the Hy-Vee plain non-fat Greek yogurt, which is an excellent quality Greek yogurt. A lot of times Greek yogurt anymore, because it's become so trendy, it's not really Greek yogurt. When you look at the ingredient list, there's all kinds of fillers and thickeners and cornstarch and guar gum, modified cornstarch. All of those are there to thicken it without having to use more milk. So it takes a lot of milk to make Greek yogurt. That's why it costs more money. But that's also why it's higher in protein. The only ingredient in this is milk. That's it. So this is true Greek yogurt. So I would recommend looking at your brand and look at the ingredient list. You may be surprised it's not truly Greek yogurt. Greek refers to the straining process to get that real thick, creamy yogurt, which is actually really easy to make. I don't know if anyone's tried it, but I've done it, and I was scared at first, but it was so easy. It's just time consuming because it takes a lot of time in your oven to create the fermenting of the bacteria. And then I have just the plain mangoes here for you to try as well. So for the mango and jicama, if you can just stab it with a toothpick, and then the lettuce wraps are going to be a little tricky to eat. I apologize for that. And then your dessert, you can just grab that. So enjoy. Any questions before?
What about vitamins in the jicama?
Vitamins, there's not too many vitamins. There's some antioxidants, so that there are some good for you things, but as far as vitamin content, it's not going to be, you know, compared to like spinach. There's a little potassium there which can help reduce blood pressure, but really the key, the shining star, is the amount of fiber for those calories. I mean, that's pretty unheard of. And the type of fiber, it's inulin, which is inulin's the one that really helps. It's like a prebiotic fiber, so it helps digestion. So very good for you.
Do you have to store the jicama in water like you do potatoes and everything?
No, you don't. It doesn't turn brown like potatoes do. That's a great question. Yeah, it stays nice and white for weeks. I mean, I've kept it in my refrigerator for over a week and it was still good and white. So yeah, it's great. Any other questions? Well, I hope you'll try. Oh, another thing too about the jicamas. This is about as big of a jicama as you want to buy. If you can find one that's even just a tiny size smaller, as they get ginormous, they get a little more starchier, woodier, and not quite as sweet. So keep that in mind too when you're buying your jicama. Okay, well, I'll let you try your recipes. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah, don't be bashful.